Caleb and Ella were the couple everyone envied. They met in college, a classic story of a library meet-cute that blossomed into a 5-year relationship. To Caleb, Ella was his everything. Pictured their future together. A house with a small garden, maybe a dog, kids running around. He poured his heart, his time, and his savings into their shared dream. He even secretly bought an engagement ring, a beautiful simple diamond he knew she'd love, and was just waiting for the perfect moment to ask her to be his wife. Their life seemed perfect. They had an apartment filled with laughter and inside jokes. Caleb worked a steady job in finance, and Ella was a budding graphic designer. He supported her through late nights working on her portfolio, bringing her coffee and encouraging her when she felt like giving up. He celebrated her every success as if it were his own. He loved her fiercely, unconditionally, and he believed she loved him the same way. But love, as Caleb would soon learn, can sometimes be a masterful illusion. The first crack in their perfect world appeared subtly. Ella started working later and later. Big project, she'd say, looking tired. Then came the weekends away for workshops and networking events. Caleb, ever the supportive boyfriend, just encouraged her to chase her dreams. Packing her bags and wishing her luck, he missed her, but he was proud of her ambition. He'd spend those weekends planning little surprises for her return, eager to hear all about her trips. He never once suspected that the life they had built together was about to be torn apart by a web of lies. The truth came crashing down on a Tuesday evening. Caleb had decided to surprise Ella at her office with her favorite takeout. He was excited, imagining the look on her face. But when he got there, the office was dark and empty. The cleaning lady told him everyone had left hours ago. Confused, Caleb called Ella. She answered, her voice sounding distant. "Hey babe, sorry, just buried in work. I'll be home late." The lie was so blatant, so cold, it sent a chill down his spine. Where was she? His mind raced. He remembered a name she had mentioned a few times. A mentor from one of her workshops. A quick search on social media confirmed his worst fears. There they were. Pictures of Ella and Liam, not at a workshop, but on a romantic getaway. The dates lined up perfectly with her business trips. There were photos of them holding hands, kissing by the beach, looking every bit the happy couple. The caption on the most recent one read, "Couant, wait to start our new life together." It was posted just an hour ago. The world tilted on its axis. Every "I love you," every shared laugh, every plan for the future, it all felt like a lie. He looked at the engagement ring sitting in its box on his dresser. It was a symbol of a future that had just been stolen from him. The pain was sharp, a physical ache in his chest. He felt foolish, blind, and utterly broken. For 5 years, he had given his all to a woman who was living a double life. Caleb loved Ella, but the Ella he loved never really existed. He confronted her that night. She didn't even try to deny it. "I'm sorry, Caleb," she said, her voice devoid of emotion. "I just don't love you anymore. Liam and I are moving to the West Coast, I was going to tell you." The casual way she dismantled their entire life was the final blow. She packed her bags and left within the hour, leaving Caleb standing in the middle of their once happy apartment, now a hollow echo of broken promises. The days that followed were a blur of grief and anger. His friends rallied around him, but the pain was a constant companion. He saw Ella and Liam flaunting their new life online, seemingly without a care in the world. They were living it up, traveling, posting about their journey of love, and they were funding it with his money. Caleb had recently transferred a large sum of money into their joint account, $20,000 to be exact. It was for a down payment on a house, their house. He checked the account. It was empty. She had taken it all. That's when the grief turned into something else. It wasn't just about the heartbreak anymore. It was about the betrayal, the theft, the sheer injustice of it all. She hadn't just left him. She had robbed him. A cold, quiet resolve began to form in Caleb's mind. He wasn't going to let her get away with this. He wasn't going to be a victim. Ella had played him, and now it was his turn to play the game. Revenge wasn't just a desire, it was a necessity. Caleb's plan started with a deep dive into Ella's digital life. He knew all her old passwords, her security questions, the name of her first pet, her mother's maiden name, details she'd shared in moments of intimacy, never imagining they'd be used against her. He accessed her old cloud storage, a digital attic of their shared memories. That's where he found it, her entire design portfolio. All the projects she had claimed were for work, the very projects that had supposedly taken her on those workshops. But there was a crucial detail Caleb knew that Liam didn't. A significant portion of that portfolio wasn't actually Ella's work. In her early days, struggling to build a client base, Ella had borrowed heavily from other designers, tweaking layouts and changing colors, passing them off as her own. Caleb had warned her against it, but she'd dismissed his concerns. Now her dishonesty was about to become his greatest weapon. He spent the next few days meticulously gathering evidence. He found the original designs online, created by other artists who deserved the credit. He compiled everything into a neat, undeniable file, side-by-side comparisons, timestamps, and links to the original creators. He was building a case that would not just expose Ella, but dismantled the very foundation of her new career, a career built on lies and funded by his stolen money. The second part of his plan was more personal. He remembered Ella talking about Liam's dream job. He was a finalist for a huge position at a prestigious tech company on the West Coast, the very reason they were moving. It was a competitive role, and the company was known for its strict ethics policy. Liam had been bragging about it to everyone. Caleb did some digging and found the name of the hiring manager on LinkedIn. With his evidence compiled and his target identified, Caleb drafted an anonymous email. It was polite, professional, and devastating. It was addressed to the senior partners at the design firm that had just hired Ella, as well as the hiring manager for Liam's dream job. The email laid out the facts clearly and concisely. It attached the portfolio, the evidence of plagiarism, and an explanation of how this talented designer had funded her new life. He didn't mention his name or the relationship. He simply presented himself as a concerned party advocating for ethical practices in the creative industry. He hit send, and then he waited. For 2 days, there was silence. Caleb started to wonder if it had worked, if anyone had even read the email. The anxiety was gnawing at him. Then, on the third day, the fallout began. A friend sent him a screenshot from a popular design forum. A post had gone viral, exposing a junior designer for widespread plagiarism. The designer's name was Ella. Her new firm had fired her and issued a public statement. Her professional reputation was in ruins overnight, but that was just the beginning. A few hours later, Caleb received a furious, rambling text from Ella. "What did you do? You ruined my life? Liam didn't get the job because of you. They said they couldn't risk the association." The text was filled with typos and rage. It seemed the tech company didn't want an employee whose partner was embroiled in a public scandal of dishonesty. Liam's dream job had evaporated, and with it, their perfect West Coast fantasy. The final, most satisfying piece of news came from Caleb's bank. They had concluded their fraud investigation. Since the transfer to the joint account was made under the false pretense of a shared future, and the funds were immediately withdrawn and used for purposes he never agreed to, they ruled it a form of fraud. The full $20,000 was returned to Caleb's account. Caleb sat in his apartment, the same one that had felt so empty just weeks before. He didn't feel vengeful or cruel. He just felt quiet. He had gotten his money back, and he had ensured that Ella and Liam could build their new life on a foundation of his pain and stolen dreams. Justice had been served. He sold the engagement ring and used the money to book a solo trip to Italy, a place he'd always wanted to go. As he looked at his plane ticket, he realized he hadn't destroyed Ella's life. She had done that herself. He just turned on the light so everyone else could see it too. He was finally free. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.